Hi, this is Jill from Young at Heart Designs. Today we're going to be creating a vintage decor piece using the brand new St.Nick mold from IOD. Isn't he pretty? Here I am adding a little bit of luster to the holly leaves that come with that same mold. And they are just really pretty. And I painted St. Nick and the holly leaves last night. And so I'm really just going to focus on putting the whole project together for you here and just kind of see my process. But I got this board at michaels.com, and it is the smaller of, they have two arched boards like this. And I'm using a product called by Paint Couture, and it's a mineral paint in the color Farmhouse Linen. This is my second coat, and I'm just making sure it's all covered well and, looking good. I had painted, obviously, the back as well. And so I'm just making sure everything is good to go. In just a minute, I'm going to be using another color called Stardust, which is a Paint Couture product. It's a metallic paint. And the thing I love about this board is that there's that center or layered look that gives you a little bit of an edge to paint a contrasting color. And so I'm going to use the Stardust. It's a beautiful metallic paint. It reminds me of the vintage tinsel color. It's a little bit silver, a little bit pewter, and just really a unique color, but it's so pretty. And so as you see, I'm doing it on that layer there just to give it a little bit of definition. It's very, very pretty. I did use silver on St. Nick and on those holly leaves. I use a product from Decor. It's a little bit like a rub and buff product. I can't remember. I think it's metallic luster or something like that. And that's what I was rubbing on those holly leaves. It really brings out the definition of the raised areas. And I used that silver on St. Nick's beard and eyebrows to kind of give him a look as if he had gray hair, as you will see in just a little bit. I had to go back and touch up, where you kind of get a little bit of that color in the wrong spot, and so that's what I'm doing here. Now, I had a previous mold, casting of a mold that I had done, and I really cannot remember if this is an IOD mold or if it's from Redesign Prima, but I already had it, and I thought it would work perfect with this project, and so I'm painting it the same color of the Farmhouse Linen. And after that dries, you're going to see me just hand scripting St. Nick. And what I did was, as I was putting the pen to the project, I got a little bit nervous because I usually seal with the top coat by Paint Couture called Extreme Guard. And I kind of wondered if this pen might smear if I did that. And so I took this particular piece with St. Nick written on there, and I used a spray clear coat instead. And I can't remember which brand it is, but when it was finished, it looked like porcelain. on this piece. It was so pretty. I ended up putting like a little bit of a glaze on there to kind of give it a vintage look, and I really wish I had left it as just because it was so pristine. And here I'm using the Extreme Guard satin to just cover the entire thing. There's a part that did not get videotaped where I used a product by Paint Couture called, it's a, not a stain, but a glaze. I couldn't think of the word, in Van Dyke brown. And I kind of did that all over the board and then wiped it back. Because of the Extreme Guard satin on there, I can, wipe that back as much as I want. And so really the glaze is mainly in the crevices just to kind of give it a antique vintage look. Now, when I was kind of putting my pieces together, I felt like the label piece was just kind of blah, and I needed something else. And so I looked in my stash and I had this ribbon, and I decided to lay that down first with some glue, and gave it a little rope looking jute border around it, and it made the label stand out a little bit more than putting it white on white. And so here is Mr. St.Nick, and got him all painted and glazed, made him look very vintage, and put all those little pieces together, and there you go. Thank you for watching me today, and if you have any questions about this, drop me a line. I'd like to know if what you would like to see next. And thank you for joining me. I would love for you to subscribe as well. I love making things, and it just brings me joy. God loves you.